Hey there, welcome. Derek Rydall here, founder of the Law of Emergence and author of the best-selling books, Emergence and the Abundance Project. And I'm coming to you today, and I will be coming to you more and more to share what I really believe is a prophetic vision that's happening right now. And I want to wave my hands. I want to get your attention. I want to wake up. This is really happening. I remember in the beginning of before the pandemic really became anywhere near a pandemic, the COVID pandemic, I had this same energy moving through me on a daily basis. And I knew something big and something bad was coming. I didn't exactly know what it would look like, but I knew it. I could feel it. And there was an energy of the prophet. I wanted to shout it out of the windows, shout it from the rooftops. And my friends thought I was kind of annoying. And my wife probably a little bit, because I seemed like I was, Chicken Little. The sky is falling, the sky is falling. And I seemed like I was catastrophizing. Oh, come on, man, what's the big deal? Well, it turned out it was a big deal. Now, whether it was a big deal because COVID itself was as dangerous as we think, or because our reaction to it was as miscalculated as it was, in any case, it was a catastrophe. Millions and millions of lives lost, trillions of dollars spent and wasted, and economies destroyed, and lives and businesses, and the trauma that we still are under from it as a result may take years to recover from. Well, what's coming now and next will make that pandemic look like a little sneeze. And I'm not catastrophizing, and this is not hyperbole, and it's not panic, it's urgency. And I've been talking about this lately when I recently did a video, you should watch it on Facebook, called The Flood is Coming, Build the Ark, or Build an Ark, The Flood is Coming, which I don't know which way I said it. But it's basically about what you may have been hearing about, which is this AI that is unfolding. And we already have many converging issues around technology and its impact on society and social and connection and social media, right? That's hard enough on our psyches. And we see what that's done to children and to young girls, and just what it's done is polarized us. It's algorithmically hypnotized us into fragmenting and balkanizing and polarizing and trolling and magnifying some of the worst aspects of us. Well, that again is like a sneeze compared to what's coming with AI. And again, I'm not catastrophizing. There is the possibility of a new renaissance, a new golden age of humanity. And there's the possibility of destroying humanity. And in either case, the transition and the transformation into this next level AI world is going to be painful. Like giving birth to quintuplets or worse, giving birth to 10 babies at once, one of those examples. It's going to be painful. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be confusing. It's going to be one of the biggest, if not the biggest, disruption and dislocation of humanity known to anybody alive on planet Earth today. It's going to be as big as the invention of fire and the wheel and the printing press and the internet all combined. Now you might think, geez, like you're really playing this up, right? You're really milking this. And I'm going to explain a bit more. And if you've been paying attention, some of you know that I'm not exaggerating. But I'm not, again, just here to talk about and put out a clarion call. The end is nigh. And that's not what I'm doing here. But I do have to start there, because we are not going to take it seriously enough otherwise. For our own personal lives, our own creative lives, our own professional lives, our family, our children, and the generations after us, we are at a very critical inflection point. And I'm also not saying necessarily the danger is that, we're going to have Terminators running around, that Skynet's going to take over, and, we're going to be running for our lives from giant machines that are trying to kill us, or that they're going to harvest our bodies and turn them into batteries like in the Matrix. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I don't know that couldn't happen, but that's not what this is about, okay? This is very grounded in very logical and rational and reasonable cause and effect. And it's already happening, and it's already in the pipeline. And it already is disrupting. You just can't see it yet. But we are the proverbial frog boiling slowly. Right now, we're like, the water is just like room temperature. And then it's going to, as we're playing with Chat GPT and Bard and making art and music and writing and all this stuff, it's now we're like in a warm bath. It feels so good, right? And then pretty soon it's going to be, we're going to get some successes from it. We're going to have people making a lot of money from it. And then we're going to feel like we're in a jacuzzi and we're partying, right? We got our margarita in one hand and our cell phone in the other, and the jacuzzi is the perfect temperature, and people are laughing and having fun. And then before you know it, we're going to turn around and the person next to us is boiling alive, okay? And then it's you. And you're like, anybody smell that? Something burning? Yeah, it's us. We are on fire. We are being boiled alive. Now, of course, I'm somewhat being fun and tongue-in-cheek. You gotta laugh now, or you'll cry a lot more later. But I really want to I really want you to take it seriously. This technology that is out of the bag now and is not going to get put back in, except through some act of war that takes control of the technology. This technology is already as smart as Einstein in a matter of months, and will soon be as smart as the smartest person to ever live, and then will soon be 10xing from that. And whereas the smartest person known is like over 200, something like 200 IQ, Einstein was like 160 something. This is already at 150 something IQ in taking tests. It's going to be at 1,000 IQ, at 2,000 IQ. Now, if Einstein was trying to explain the theory of relativity to the stupidest person on the planet, they wouldn't have a clue what he's talking about. But he's talking in perfect logical, thought. Well, imagine somebody with a 2,000 IQ talking to you and me. We wouldn't even begin to understand. Maybe they wouldn't even use language anymore. Or maybe it would just be images, and we just wouldn't even begin to comprehend. So that's one little piece to put there off to the side. Now already this AI has passed the bar, could become a lawyer. Now, forgetting that it makes mistakes and it has delusions and all that. It's a baby right now, and it passed the bar. And I forget the name of it, but it passed the medical test, the medical exam for doctors. And it's able to do many functions already better. It's already able to code as good as the best average coder. You just tell it what you want, it'll create the code for the program. You don't need coders anymore. I mean, you do right now, but eventually, instead of 100 coders, you'll need one who's really good at working with its coder, boss, its coder superior, the AI, and then doctors. There'll be a future where instead of 100 doctors, you'll need one doctor, and that doctor will probably be implanted with a neural net AI, and in fact, it'll be considered malpractice if they're not using the AI, because the AI will be able to know everything that's ever been known about medicine. It'll be able to know your genome. It'll be able to sequence things and knowledge and understanding of you and what's going on with you instantly, that could take a doctor and a team of research scientists months, years, if ever, and it'll be able to do it instantly. This is not science fiction. Right now, if you're a musician and there's 70,000 songs uploaded to Spotify a day, that's going to go to 700,000, right? A day, because AI is able to create songs and create music. Some of you might know about, was it, forgetting the name, not Kanye. Well, there was something with Kanye West, but there's another artist out there, a rapper, and the song was as good or better than they've done. And it sounded like them, it was their voice. There's a new tour right now with the band ABBA, ABBA. Some of you may know that band. It's touring because some people are like, well, it's fine. So yeah, there'll be synthetic musical artists. But it'll never replace the live concert experience, right? Wrong. There's a tour right now for ABBA, and ABBA is nowhere on the tour, but their holograms are. Holograms of the original ABBA band dancing all over the stage and singing, and then being projected on big screens, which is, by the way, what most concert goers are watching when they're in a big concert, right? They can't even see the people on the stage. But there's holograms dancing on the stage and projected, and they're next to indecipherable between the real people. And the music is great, and the crowd is jamming and singing and dancing like they're at a rock concert, because they are. But where's ABBA? They're in the cloud. That's holograms. And then there's going to be virtual reality. And you'll be able to have, well, and not only that, but you won't even have to go to the concert, because with Apple releasing its new AR goggles and the future of those, as those become, much better, you'll just put on the AR goggles. You'll be at the concert. You can get a bunch of your friends together and do it. And you'll be at any concert you want to be at. And it will be, at first, holograms. And then it will be virtual. Follow me here. It'll be a virtual concert. So it'll be a virtual concert with Beyonce. Although it's not Beyonce, it's her virtual avatar. And you can't tell the difference. And then it will be beyond, something else. Some other name, it'll be Bob Smith, the biggest pop star in the world, except Bob doesn't exist. Bob is synthetic. And you won't know the difference. And you won't care. Some people will. There'll be a movement of handcrafted humanity, artisanal humanity. But there will be a swath of synthetic pop stars and rock stars and country stars and podcast hosts and TV stars, and you'll be able to watch them on your screen, watch them through your AR goggles, attend their concerts through VR. There'll be entire synthetic sports teams. You'll be able to cheer for your favorite sports team that doesn't even exist. Go to the event virtually or in augmented reality. There'll be whole new leagues. Somebody wants to steal this idea. There'll be not just the NBA, but the NBAI. Already, the video gaming of sports looks almost realistic. It's not very far off before it's indecipherable. So are we going to need athletes? Are we going to need singers and songwriters and pop stars? Now, we'll need some of those, because for a while, there'll still be a need for, the programming of it and the real true soul. And I'm going to get to how you need to understand this, and you need to take this seriously if you want to have a job and a career and a livelihood, and you want your children to, and you want your business to survive, and you don't want the robots to replace you. I'm going to talk a little bit here, and I'm going to do a series of these talks. But I really want you to first understand that what I'm saying right now is coming. It's already here. The future is here. It's just not uniformly distributed, as one futurist said. It's already here, and literal examples are already out there. There's already examples out there. I think there's one out there with Joe Rogan right now. It's the Joe Rogan AI podcast, and it's Joe Rogan maybe interviewing Sam Harris. I can't remember, but it's almost indecipherable, and they never had that conversation. It's completely made up. And by the way, you won't, there'll be whole media companies emerging that will just be producing a stable of AI podcasts and podcasters and AI influencers and AI singer-songwriters and AI Forget AI musicians, because it'll just be all, it's already almost all computerized to begin with. AI athletes, AI actors, all of that. But some of them will be existing brands and existing intellectual property, actors and artists and celebrities and singers and podcast hosts will be able to license their intellectual product, meaning their voice, their image, their IP, to then be repurposed across platforms, so that I can do my podcast in English, and then it's licensed to countries all over the world where Derek is talking and teaching, but in every language. And then eventually it could be licensed to do commercials or do other kind of product placement if you're an actor, and you don't have to be in any of those. Voiceover artists, there'll be like 5 of them, and they'll just be licensed and their voice slightly tweaked and in different languages and with different accents everywhere. Call centers, you won't need them anymore. You'll be able to talk to an operator and they'll be talking in your language, in your dialect, and they'll sound like your next door neighbor. And they'll just be AI. Or there'll be a person that's being funneled through AI. And then that voice has been synthesized. You picking up what I'm putting down? You get how this is a brave new world, how this is going to disrupt everything. For now, if you're a plumber, you're probably okay, right? If you're a plumber, an electrician, like the original labor of the land, like Jesus, the carpenter, if you are a fundamental laborer, you're still needed, and you're going to probably have a job for a while. Maybe like some of the best jobs might be building things and waiters and things like that, because we'll still, as long as we're living in 3D in the material world, we're going to need people that do all the material things. Now, a lot of those will be replaced by robots too. But the bigger thing that I see coming and coming faster is this, because it's literally already happening. There's no robots out there yet that are so good at moving around that they can do your plumbing. So plumbers, you're good. There's no robots out there that are so good right now that they can, nail nails and literally build a house. So contractors and construction guys, you still got a job for a while. But there's lots of innovations in every area, and AI is going to accelerate all of that. Just the programming alone will mean the flood of programs, the flood of apps and applications, the flood of video games. And then, as I said, you as a user will then have the ability to say to your AI, create me a video game that's like this. Boom, you've got it. Right? Create me a TV show like this. Boom, you've got it. Create me a movie like this. Boom, you've got it. And create me a sports team that has like the best of Toby, of Tiger Woods, and that you can just like make up all this stuff, and then boom, you've got it. The whole world will become like a video game. And we'll want to spend more and more and more time. Now, here's where you come in as a human being, and as I would like to say, a spiritual being, is that what AI will at least be able to do initially for the first couple of years or so. And by the way, this is coming. This is not years away. This is months and a few years away. You've got a couple years, maybe, to get serious about a few things I'm going to talk about, until there is such a flood of transformation and content and noise and a post-reality world where you won't know who's who and what's true. And of course, there'll be whole new companies born that will be, their whole thing will be detecting what's real and what's not, because you won't be able to tell the difference. This right now could be entirely generated by AI. Now, the fact that it's hopefully giving you valuable and as honest and truthful information as I can give you is the good thing. But somebody else could take my voice and image and go create propaganda where I'm a racist, where I'm a full-on Nazi. And you wouldn't be able to tell the difference, or they could do it much more subtly. where I'm just looking like this and I'm talking about beautiful things. And then I just have a moment where I'm just going to say something really racist, really homophobic, but I'm just going to slip it in there and then I'm going to get back to my topic. And you're like, whoa, why did he say that? And you're going to think it's real, but it's not. Like that old commercial, which is probably dating me. Is it live or is it Memorex? It was about Memorex tape, where you couldn't tell the difference between the voice on the tape and the voice in person. It was so clear. Well, that level of clarity, that level of there's a word for it, I'm drawing a blank on it, but that level of truthfulness and clarity and is going to be, again, indecipherable, except maybe by another AI. And so you won't know, is that news real? And not only can an AI produce news stories, it can propagate them on 1,000 websites. And not only can it do that on 1,000 websites, it can do that on 1,000 websites it just made up. Okay? And it can add video and audio on the scene of the accident or the crime, and it can then put in people that are real that didn't do the video at all. And it just will become like a new Tower of Babel, a whole new world where we have to develop a whole new language and a whole new way of being and a whole new hierarchy of values and priorities if we're going to survive it, and especially if we're going to thrive in it. So a few things real quick about that, and I'm going to get to more of those in future episodes. So please click and follow me here, or if you're listening on a podcast or YouTube, register, follow, however that works, so that you don't miss these. If you can resonate with even a little bit that this is going to be the most important thing, unless we go to war, this is going to be the most important topic of the next minimum 5 years and maybe 10. I kid you not. But you may not start really feeling the effects of it for a year or more. But you don't want to be on the beach while the tsunami is cresting and go, oh, it's true, there is a tsunami coming, and now I'm dead. Now I'm drowning. Now my village is wiped out. You don't want to do that. You don't want to be that person. You want to be the one that's been swimming out in the ocean, paddling, checking things out, keeping your eyes on the horizon, building your muscles and your strength, and practicing every day to ride waves. So when that tsunami crests, you're on top of it. You're riding it. You're not being drowned by it. Because many, many people will be drowned by it. I don't mean literally, but job loss, confusion, the crisis of meaning, a crisis of isolation and separation, which we're already in. It's going to get worse if we don't do some things about it now. The rise in suicide and depression, drug abuse and addiction, it's going to get worse, not better if we don't do something about it now. The dislocation, as I already said, of jobs that's already happening because of automation. With AI, now it's going to be magnitudes or orders of magnitudes worse. And it could happen very fast. It could be like slow, like compounding interest, and all of a sudden, bam, the doubling effect of compounding interest, and suddenly you're being fired. They're laying off, they're already laying off a lot of people now, but they're laying off, 50% of their workforce because they don't need all those people because AI can do those jobs. They still may need each of those categories, but as I said, they don't need 100, they need one. And we'll have billion-dollar companies that are created by one or two people because they've got AI as their team. And so what's going to matter is, what is it that AI can never do? And what AI can never do is you. Your unique life experience, your unique lived experience, your unique spirit and presence The only gift we have to give each other is ultimately our presence. AI will never be able to replace that. Now, it will be able to do a lot of things, even appear emotional and appear sentient in a lot of ways. Some would argue it will become conscious and emotional and sentient. I don't know, because I don't think so, because I believe in a soul. I believe in consciousness. I believe in that matter is an emergent property of consciousness, that consciousness is not an emergent property of matter. And so if you start with just matter, you can never create consciousness. Just like if you start with just matter without the spark of life, you can't create life. Science has never been able to create life. We created as human beings, we become the channel of the portal of life. But because there's already life in us, and so it produces a baby, and that's a new expression of life. But we cannot create life from non-life. It's never happened. And so I do not believe we can create consciousness from non-consciousness. We can create the levels of intelligence. And most people, and this is important to understand, most humans are just a collection of knowledge, information that has been organized into patterns or programs, and they're just running the program. So most humans are just a program. Most humans are just a program, and that's why they're predictable. And that's why all the algorithms can fool you and tempt you and hypnotize you and lead people like lemmings off the cliff. And that's why they know what you want and what you're going to buy before you do. And that's only going to get more and more and more, because most people are programs. But, and therefore, being merely a program, being on autopilot, using yesterday's thoughts, living on yesterday's mana, that's not going to cut it anymore, folks. You're not going to make it in the AI age if all you're trying to do is copy other people, or just give as good as you can get, or just get by, or just stay average, or status quo, or mediocrity, or just punch in and punch out of the clock, or just do just the minimal viable offering. You're done for if that's going to be your value set and your goal. And if you're going to not think for yourself, if you're going to just be the way you think others want you to be and need you to be liked and loved and accepted and not rejected, and you're not going to be willing to take daring risks and be bold and be unpopular, then you're done. Because the AI will outthink you at every turn. Because you'll just be a program. And eventually, it'll be so much more intelligent than us. We will no longer be able to use it. It will be using us. But a secret weapon is you are not just a program. You are an infinite, individualized expression of divine or life consciousness with an inexhaustible capacity for knowledge and wisdom and understanding and guidance and intuition. Your soul, your presence, your consciousness is not just a computer. It is the source of all creation. And now more than ever, you need to drink from the fountain of you if you want to be immortal or if you just want to survive. You need to make knowing yourself, knowing what you're really made of and made for, knowing why you're really here, knowing what is truly unique about you that is unprecedented, uncopyable, unrepeatable, irreplaceable. You must become unrepeatable. You must become irreplaceable, uncopyable, because you're just being you. And nobody else can do you. You picking up what I'm putting down? And you must anchor yourself in a place that never changes. I don't mean hold on to something and don't change. I mean, ask the question, what is it about me and about life that is unchangeable, that is unchanging, that is eternal, that is indestructible and uncorruptible. And that contemplation is where you need to go every day now and ask and discover, what is it about me that's eternal, that's indestructible, uncorruptible, and unchangeable? Now, I'll just tell you what it is your divine nature, your spiritual nature, your true nature, your sacred presence, the essential ground of your being. So you want to be anchored in that. You want to have a soul of steel anchored in the truth of your nature, embodying the authenticness of your being, and then have the courage to live that, to follow that. You need to quit your job and live your purpose. Now, I don't mean literally quit your job yet, but this job, just over broke, is done. Nobody's going to need you to do a job anymore. They're going to need you to do you. They're going to need you to bring forth what only you can bring forth if you want to thrive. And not just be a cog in the wheel or a circuit in the motherboard of the AI. You need to make knowing who and what you really are and why you're alive, living on purpose, not on accident. No more just get a job to feel comfort and safe and secure. Those days are done. You are not here to get a job and then take a vacation. You are here to live a purpose and fulfill a mission and live a life that glorifies God or life or love or truth, whatever word works for you. That oak tree out there is not just doing its job. It's fulfilling its dharma, its destiny, its divine blueprint. And a pine tree can never, ever do what the oak tree does. Ever. And nothing can ever do what you really are if you are willing to discover that and to be that. And so you have to know what you're really made of and made for. You have to know who you are, and you have to be who you are. You have to quit your day job, live your purpose, metaphorically and eventually literally. You have to make it number one that you know who and what you are, that you know why you're alive. As it says in Proverbs, where there is no vision, the people perish. I want to say girl, I almost said girl. Guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, the people are going to perish that have no vision. And I don't mean just the vision of the internet gurus, make 6 figures, 7 figures, work half the time, make twice the money, all this bullshit about more time off and automate everything and sell shit on Amazon. I'm sorry, but that is not a vision. There's nothing wrong with that if that's your true passion. But of the 1 million people doing it, there's like 10 where that's their true passion. And the rest of them are not making any money, and they're just making these other guys rich, telling you how to make money, selling stuff nobody needs. And that is not vision. That is not being a handcrafted human. That is not living a life as a work of art. That is not fulfilling your destiny and your purpose. Jeff Bezos already did that with Amazon. Now you have to create your Amazon or whatever that is. So you got to know yourself. You got to be yourself. You got to quit your job and live your purpose. You got to stop seeking comfort and convenience and embody curiosity and boldness and creativity and living on that emerging edge. Because if you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space and the AI is going to knock you over the edge. I'm telling you what I know, what I feel, what I see, what's coming. Now, I'm going to be talking a lot more about this, but I want you to start here. Look at the other video I did. Check out my podcast, Emergence. Check out my YouTube channel. Check out DerekRydall.com, DerekRydall.com. Check out the free trainings and stay tuned because this message will repeat and there will be a lot more of how to begin doing this. We're moving into a whole new world. We have to become a whole new human. We have to start valuing more of the qualities of humanity and spirituality than materiality, because the AI is going to have that domain covered. And that's going to not only allow you to survive, it's going to make you irreplaceable. And it's going to allow you to be on that emerging edge and ultimately thrive. Please comment below what you think about this. Share this with everybody you know. I also sometimes say share it, but I never say share it with everyone. Everyone. And don't stop sharing it until everybody you know is talking about this, because pretty soon they will be. And you don't want to be the one hearing about it. You want to be the one leading the conversation. So I love and appreciate you. I hope this was helpful. Share what your comments and feedback are. Stay engaged, stay inspired. And until next time, remember, live authentically, love unconditionally, and follow your destiny. Take care.